Welcome back to Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, and today is Monday, January 20th, 2019. Let's find out what's going on in the world of bodybuilding and fitness. Outside it might be winter, but inside it's still suns out, guns out season all day long, baby. Just ask Kirill Khudiav. Over the weekend, Kirill's camp released a short video of him knocking out a few sets of dumbbell curls, where he looked the leanest I've seen him in the entire offseason. 2 years ago, Kirill put together a really strong run to close out his rookie season. So if he gets back to that level of conditioning with the new muscles he's added, a second straight trip to the Olympia might be in his cards. There's been a lot of talk about all the big names who will be lining up at the Arnold Classic a few weeks from now. But do you know whose name I haven't heard anyone mention? Johnnie Jackson, who will be competing for the first time in almost 3 years after a somewhat of a brief retirement. At one point in his career, JOJ was a top 10 Olympian and someone who was almost always in the mix for the win when he was on stage. But after so much time away from this game, and with the stakes being so high, you have to wonder if he has enough gas in the tank to make a serious run at a top 5. Do you guys remember a few weeks ago when Ronnie Coleman was in the headlines for giving his thoughts on some of today's Olympians? And in that clip, do you remember how he pointed at Luke Sando and said, "This guy will never be as strong as me"? Well, somebody should show Ronnie the video of Luke Sandoe repping 220 to see if he wants to maybe think about revising that statement. Once again, Luke managed to pull off an insane feat of strength last week with 2 of the biggest dumbbells I've ever seen, adding yet another chapter to his wild off-season stories. Every time you turn around, Luke is doing something else in the gym that makes your head spin. So the only thing left to see now is how it all translates to the stage, because that's the only real measuring stick in bodybuilding. In an interview, Will Smith was quoted as saying, "If you're not making someone else's life better, you're wasting your time." But to be 70 years old and still out there trying to make people's lives better after almost 5 decades of giving back, well, to me, that's a true statement of the kind of person you are deep at heart. And in case you haven't heard, last Thursday, Lou Ferrigno was officially sworn in as a New Mexico Sheriff's deputy, where he'll be working side by side with other members of the force at the Sirocco County Sheriff's Department, just outside of Albuquerque. At this point in his life, Lou's done just about anything you could possibly imagine. So if being on the right side of the law is what makes him happy, I say give the big man a badge and let him have at it. And that does it for yet another edition of Muscle in the Morning. I'm Dave Palumbo, reminding you to always be true to your passions, and make sure to follow us at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.